It was a long and painful journey through Middle-earth. The battle for the One Ring had been torturous and had left us scattered from kith and kin. I dragged on through the day and curled up in trees through the dark, dark nights. I was tired, injured, and soul-crushingly lonely. I hadn't seen human, elf, or hobbit in months, and as my mind descended into madness, I realized this may be the end. Would I ever hear my loved ones' voices again, or feel their arms around me in a warm embrace? I longed for the days of happiness when laughter rang out from the village square and a comfortable bed was your night's repose. Those days were gone. The winter dragged on. Snow, blizzard, cutting wind soon tore through my patched and ragged clothes. There was not even a flower to break the monotony of winter's indifference. My paltry store of food was soon gone. I barely survived on cedar seeds and what winter berries I could scavenge. My clothes soon hung on my wasted frame, and I thought of nothing else besides the warm, rich broths we used to make around the fire. The woods were dark and foreboding, danger at every turn. It was then that I saw my salvation. I could scarce believe my eyes that I should be so lucky as to find my possible rescue. I spied a hobbit camp and dragged my weary bones towards their cheery fire. They welcomed me with open arms and gladly shared their warm stew with a weary traveler. They promised to send me a copy of their wonderful cookbook, and I was able to continue my journey, warmed, fortified, and truly grateful.
And I am back home from my journey, and it is time to make dinner with the new cookbook that I acquired. So let me turn this around, and I'm going to show you what we're going to make and something fun I picked up from the farmer's market today. And we are going to make this Tarragon chicken, which looks super good. And I'm very excited to be able to use a lot of tarragon because a frost is coming and I may lose that plant by tomorrow morning. So at least we'll have one last hurrah with that herb. I have everything laid out and ready, so we should be good to go. The only substitution I'm going to make is the recipe calls for creme fraiche. As some of you know, I can no longer have dairy, so I was assured by the internet that sour cream is actually safe to eat if you're lactose intolerant, so I am going to substitute that and keep my fingers crossed. And as for the fun thing I found at the farmer's market today, I got this bag of mixed lettuces, and if you can see that peeking through the bag, some edible flowers. I'm going to use this as a side salad, so let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. Look how beautiful that is. We've got some spinach. I think this might be buttercrisp lettuce. We've got some red. We've got these beautiful edible flowers that I'm gonna make a beautiful salad out of. And look here, we also have some red sorrel. That's gonna be really fun to put together as a salad. Plus, I also bought what will be the last of the summer tomatoes and cucumbers at this farmer's market, so we're going to also put that in our salad. So let's go ahead and get this meal started. We're gonna have to go outside and pick some tarragon, then we will come back in and put the rest of these ingredients together. So since we're hungry, let's hurry up. All right, as you can see, I've got most of my plants pulled into the greenhouse, so hopefully they will be able to survive the frost. Now these right here cannot survive any kind of cold whatsoever, so these will be actually pulled inside for tonight, where they will probably spend the rest of their days until spring. But I'm pretty sure the rest of these, like the oregano and mint and that kind of thing, I've had quite a bit of success with them overwintering, so, you know, in the greenhouse, so I am going to leave them in here. And I've got the tarragon right there, which you can see I've got quite a bit right there. And I also actually had some new growth because we had some warmer days coming in into Tennessee the last few days. But I think I'm going to go ahead and just cut off some of these right here. Let's see if that will be a half a cup. Okay, that's quite a bit, but I actually think we might need one more stem. All right, we'll start with that. We'll see if that gets us to the half a cup. And maybe we'll leave the rest of it, or we may just have to come back out and take the whole thing. This one will overwinter though. He's got his roots deep down into the pot, and we've at least got some of this new growth right here, so it should be fine. Now I went ahead and cut the chicken breast into thin strips, so this is going to be ready to put in this pan, and our pasta water is almost boiling and ready for that. So let's go ahead and get our chicken in there. And now, while that's frying up and the pasta is boiling, we will go ahead and get the rest of our ingredients ready to go. Now while the food is cooking, let's go ahead and take a look at this beautiful cookbook from the world of Tolkien. Now again, I'm very impressed with the overall theme of this cookbook. I think the cover is done so nicely with lots of wild berries and herbs and lettuce leaves. I think that looks beautiful. And then you open it and you're immediately greeted with this gorgeous illustration of Hobbiton and all the little hobbit holes. I like to imagine that Bilbo is living right here. And so you see the theme is continued all throughout the cookbook. We have lots of gorgeous watercolor illustrations throughout. They're absolutely gorgeous, and I think they fit the theme of Lord of the Rings perfectly. And you also have some more like illustrative type drawings and things that look a little bit more modern but are somehow still retro, if that makes any sense. But I think you kind of see what I mean, how it's just these beautiful illustrations that just go along so well with one another. And so the illustrations are slightly different on each page, but somehow everything just works, and I love that. Now this works the same as the Jane Austen cookbook. You'll have a little introduction to the beginning of each recipe, kind of telling what the inspiration was for this particular recipe, and if it has been mentioned in a book, it will be mentioned here and where to find it. I think this cookbook has a really nice mix of dinners and teas and breakfast foods, kind of something for everyone. You can see, look how beautiful this is. Just in conjunction with this recipe, I think this is how you should do themed cookbooks. It is so nice, but yet it stays organized and very easy to read. I think everything is beautifully put together, from the pictures to the choice of font to how the cookbook is laid out and organized overall. Now, this cookbook was put together by Thunder Bay Press. Now, I'm not sure how much Robert Anderson was part of the whole design process, but I think the Thunder Bay Publishing Company has really outdone themselves on this series of cookbooks, because whoever is designing their cookbooks, they really seem to have gone above and beyond the research to make sure that they stay on theme, and it has absolutely worked and produced something that any Lord of the Rings fan would absolutely love to have in their collection. And there you have it, a Lord of the Rings book that I absolutely highly recommend, because the recipes are so nice and the cookbook is so well put together and thought out. So if you are a Lord of the Rings fan, you're going to have a really easy time journeying to Middle Earth with this cookbook. All right, let's head to Middle Earth and see what kind of food is served there.
Smells good.
It smells so good. Ooh, that is surprisingly good.
It's got a lot of flavor. Like, it's got kind of like an acidic kick that I wasn't expecting.
As lemon juice.
That's really good, though.
Yeah, because I was afraid the sour cream would be too rich, but the lemon really cuts it really well. Everything works so well together.
Yeah.
I'm extremely impressed by this dish, and it's a lot of self-control for me to just like not shovel it all into my mouth right now. So, wow, okay. This is kind of exciting because we've had 2 for 2 so far. So in this Anderson series, as I'm calling it, because, you know, we've done his Jane Austen's table. It was awesome. We've done this dish now. It's awesome. So we're 2 for 2, and I'm really excited to see what the third one is gonna do. Now, as you've already heard, you've heard me go through the cookbook itself and why I really like it. So I'm not going to go through it again here. Just to say, if you're a Tolkien fan, grab it. I mean, it's good food. It's a great cookbook. And if you're lucky enough to go to Sam's Club, or if you know someone with a membership, you can grab this for pretty cheap, actually, like cheaper than Amazon.
Yeah.
So highly impressed with this cookbook, really impressed with this, really hope you try this, because this, I think, is one of my favorites that we've done over the last several weeks. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a little bit of a mess to clean up, with the dishes and stuff, but I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
So there you go, another one, this time from Middle Earth that really knocked our socks off. And if you stay tuned for next week, we're going to go into a third cookbook that this author has done, and that one's a really cool theme too. It's Grimm's Fairy Tales. Yeah, so that's going to be really fun to look through that cookbook as well and see if it's just as good as its first two. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you then, and thanks for watching this one. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.